What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 3 of Members Only, the EverWash podcast. On today's episode, we've got another episode packed with great conversations for car wash operators. We'll start with our Wash Wire of the week, where we'll recap the Southwest Carwash Association's Convention and Expo, including some insight on the show and a few conversations that we recorded right there on the show floor. Then we'll check in with Sean Pashley at the Car Wash, where we'll talk about how operators can prepare for the busy pollen season ahead. After that, we'll dive into our data drip segment with EverWash analyst Jane Lee, where we'll explore what actually happens when operators change their membership pricing. Later in the episode, we'll be joined by Kendra Johnson, the Chief Experience Officer at the International Carwash Association, to preview the car wash show in Nashville and share how operators can make the most of their time there. And of course, we'll wrap things up with Suds N Stuff, little off-topic banter. Don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe to Members Only wherever you listen to your podcasts. And without further ado, here's Members Only, Episode 3. Hey everybody, welcome to Members Only, the EverWash podcast, a monthly conversation about membership, growth, and what actually works for busy car wash operators. I'm Max Pulcini. Joining me in the studio, as always, is my co-host, Chris Villela. Chris, how we doing today?
Good, Max. How you doing today? We made it 3 episodes. I think now it's official.
It's official. It's like we are here to stay, folks.
Yeah.
It's we're not going anywhere. So be sure to like and subscribe. YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. We're even on Amazon Music. Wherever you want to find us, you can find us. So before we dive in, Chris, what's new and exciting on your end?
No, I'm just looking forward to talking membership some more.
Yeah,
I'm really looking forward to the interview with Kendra at ICA. I thought it's going to be really informative, really in depth. Her energy is always high. So I think our partners, our operators, any prospects, whoever has a chance to see this will get a lot out of that.
It's always great when your guests can match the energy that we put forth.
Yes.
And Kendra exceeds the energy. So yeah. A lot of fun. Yeah, this is actually going to be like a very trade show intensive kind of episode. We're going to obviously preview the ICA a little bit. We're going to get a little bit of a rundown of what happened at the Southwest show. So we'll talk to Chris, who is there live and in person. But yeah, just really excited to get into everything today. So without further ado, keep it locked here, and we'll return with our Wash Wire segment of the month. Hey everybody, welcome back to Members Only. It's time for this month's Wash Wire, where we're going to take a look at some of the stories and developments shaping the car wash industry. So, Chris, one of the big industry events just wrapped up not too long ago. It was the SCWA Convention and Expo, and you were there representing EverWash with the rest of the team. So I wanted to start today's show by just getting a quick rundown of how the show went. You know, your pulse from the show. What really stood out?
The energy, Max, really stood out. From a high level, giving a quick recap. Very engaging conversation. That was about my 12th show since I've been with EverWash. Southwest is always a good show. It's a little smaller, obviously, than ICA. It was a high energy crowd also. A lot of good conversations, and not just 2-minute conversations. Right. Like good in-depth conversations about not just EverWash or CoinList, the products we offer, but the industry in general, how we can help shape some things for some smaller and some bigger operators.
Yeah. Tell me a little bit of some of those, what's some of the direction you gave? What were some of the concerns that were presented?
Well, one thing we really leaned into there was CoinList. For those of you who don't know, CoinList is our loyalty app. We acquired about 1.5 years ago, recently launched. A lot of interest in CoinList for the IBA and self-serve side. Probably the most substantive discussions was on CoinList, to be honest with you. But from a membership standpoint, and this is a membership podcast,
right?
Always good talk. In my 4 times there, it was probably, from a lead standpoint, from a commercial end where I live, very successful show. We're in the execution phase now, but good talk about some of our fraud prevention products, our pending new fleet product, our attendant app that we spoke about last show. So a lot of good momentum going in and leaving the show. That's awesome.
That's awesome. I do want to take at least a few minutes to kind of talk about CoinList. This is our membership podcast, but to those of those folks listening or watching who don't know, what is the difference between loyalty and membership? And why is Coinless a good option for folks looking for the former as opposed to the latter?
Well, I may share a different perspective than like Scott would or the sales team, but I see membership is really based on the experience. They both are, but really getting there, getting them to the wash, keeping them as customers. How do we grow that? Coinless, the loyalty part of it, is more control for the operator, less managed, for a smaller location, maybe 2 or 3 self-serve bays, maybe 1 or 2 IBA bays, who just want to offer something. And it's more of a it's paper drink, basically, where membership is the recurring revenue. So there's some similarities, but definitely what I've learned over time is there's a market for both.
Right.
Because even internally, some of the conversations we're having with prospects, we've kind of, I don't want to say use the word pushed, but now the sales team, they've come up with strategies to identify who you're talking to. And guess what? It might not just be a cold lead now. It may be a better fit for Coinless. And that's where we're really starting to get into in the last 4 to 6 weeks. And that's what's exciting. A full scale products, I should say. The service is just more than membership.
Yeah, that's a great distinction. Awesome explanation. I guess we talk a lot about customer personas, car wash operator personas. If you kind of distill it to, anyone listening here who's thinking to themselves, like, am I an EverWash, potential customer? Am I a Coinless potential customer? Like, how do we kind of put people into buckets? Obviously you can move from bucket to bucket depending on how the conversation goes, but what would you say is the least common denominator for either kind of audience?
The least common denominator for the membership, for the EverWash side of the business, I would definitely believe is the revenue potential. Mm-hmm. All right. It is a managed membership, and we help you do everything. We're there to support you. Coinless is more of I'm going to have an offering for them, and a solid offering nonetheless, but it's a little more for like the hands-off owner.
Right.
But it does offer some things that EverWash does, like the ability to communicate through the app. That's something we're working on with EverWash. Gives them a little more visibility to what that member might need. And I don't want to say member, the loyalty member might need, but it's definitely an interesting learning process for me, especially in the conversation realm, because you have to train yourself. We were always, as you know, you've been in the trade shows, so focused on membership. Now it's like, as they're talking, you're like, actually, this is more Coinless. But really about the one thing they do have in common is the customer experience. And I think that's the most important thing.
Right. And I think, just even like more high level than that, we always see membership potential at any tunnel car wash, and the loyalty play is more for the lower volume IBA or the self-serve. So, obviously, if you have any questions on which product is the best fit for you and your business, feel free to reach out to us. Our sales team can definitely direct you to the right way. And of course, as is, the standard experience with any of our products, you'll get that special touch, that coaching, that consultation that comes along with it. So, you have a partner the whole way. Yeah.
I just want people to understand. And that's a great call out, Max. It's not, if you get EverWash, you get everything and you get Coinless. No, there's a level of support and consultation and management from us on both ends of the app. It's just, one is really geared towards end-to-end process, and Coinless is there more to support and how we can help your business. So it's a unique situation.
Yeah.
But again, it broadens our horizons. It opens us up to different markets, and that's important.
Yeah, it's been really exciting growing the Coinless brand over the last year and a half, as you said, and it's cool to have options for folks, right? And there's so many options in the car wash industry these days that it's nice that we can offer a few different things.
Yep. It keeps that door open, keeps that relationship, keeps us talking, which is really how we learn.
Yeah.
That's important. So I don't know if you're ending this, but did I tell you about dinner? I have a new trade show story.
Well, hit me.
All right. And I think I did tell you, by the way, multiple times. So you know how we are. We like, at the end of a show, we like to have a nice dinner for the team. They work hard. They're on their feet for multiple days. And we're in this really nice restaurant in Fort Worth. And the waitress comes up to me and goes, I don't know if you need to know this, but I'm going to tell you anyway.
I know what you're talking about.
Nicole Kidman is sitting 20 feet away from you. And I'm like, can I ask for her autograph? And she's like, Absolutely not. So it ends up being, it was her. And you know the name of the show. I don't. It's another Paramount show. She was recording season 3.
Lioness?
Yes, Lioness. And she was there with Taylor Sheridan, who might be
He's the busiest man in Hollywood.
Absolutely.
For sure.
So that guy just knocks them out one after the other, and they're all hits. So
100%.
it was a pretty cool experience. I did not approach her, for those of you who are asking or thinking. I was told and really encouraged not to. But my theory is she has 2 arms and 2 legs like the rest of us. Just because she's worth $250 million doesn't make her any different.
Well, you guys are lucky I wasn't there, because I would have had no shame. I would have walked right up to her and I would have said, Miss Kidman, I loved you in Eyes Wide Shut. I'm sorry if that's an awkward thing to say.
No, that's what I wanted. I told Brian, our one salesman, I said, he goes, do not go over there. I said, I'm halfway out of my chair. And I had the direct shot. It was her and I looking at each other. Oh, I was looking.
Incredible. That's incredible. And, great story. Love that. Always love the trade show stories. We'll maybe recount that next year when I have the same prompt, favorite trade show stories. But, on the topic of conversations, whether they are imagined conversations with Nicole Kidman or real conversations that happened on the show floor, you not only had a chance to speak with car wash operators, but you had a chance to speak to some other vendors, some of our partners in the industry, as well as a couple of our current wash partners on the show floor. So we actually recorded some of those conversations and edited them into a video package for the podcast. So we're going to take a look at Chris's roll of interviews. So let's roll the tape.
Hey, this is Chris with EverWash. I'm here with Carl Wood at the wash stop out of Largo, Florida, one of the newest members of the EverWash platform. Cara, so why are you at the show this year?
We are here because our success is learning from the vendors and the operators that are here and taking in the guidance from our vendors.
So how long have you been in the car wash business?
We are aged in now at 3 months. We've been open and operating 30 days.
So we have a newbie here. I thought I was always the new person, but Cara and her husband Jeff just joined the platform. Great customers. We're looking forward to helping them grow as they grow. Anything else you want to add for EverWash?
No, we appreciate you guys' support. You've been listening to our feedback, and we're excited to grow.
Well, have a great show, and thank you for your time.
You too.
Hey, guys, it's Krista with EverWash, again at the SCWA show in Fort Worth. I'm here right now with Dominic Ahern of Ahern Signs. Dominic, how's the show been so far?
It's been really good.
Yeah,
enjoying it.
What do you have new to offer us here these days?
We're doing a lot of more promotional stuff than we've probably done before. And we're also helping to develop Shopify sites for folks. So it just makes it easier for everybody to go online and order their signage as they need for whatever locations they need it for.
And as a user of your web-based sign store, I can attest to what you just said. Really convenient, really easy for the end user. Also, Dominic was the first one to like the EverWash members only podcast. So we got a good review. So with that being said, you need signs, you need anything in the car wash industry that you want to hang up, Dominic's your guy. Give Ahern a call. Hey guys, it's Chris again at EverWash. I'm here with Nikita from McLean Solutions. Nikita, how's the Southwest show going?
Oh, awesome. The Southwest show is actually probably my favorite show if I had to choose one. And it's such an intimate environment, I think. We get to have this conversation, right? And so it's a lot less rush, a lot more sort of real people, real operators, real partners out here that you can slow down and really give them the time of day. And it's been great.
Anything from McLean you want to talk about? Anything new on the horizon? Well,
we usually save all of our new stuff for ICA, but we are showing some of the products that we launched at ICA last year. And so our Foam Tricolor Extreme, that's over there, if you want to pan to it real quick. But our Foam Tricolor Extreme over there is a great new triple foam product that we're falling in love with since the ICA at the launch, and it's done incredibly well.
Well, I thank you for your time. Next year, keep an eye out for the invite to our Top Golf event.
That's right.
That we co-sponsor. We look forward to having more people there next year. It gets bigger every year. Thanks, Nikita. Okay. Hey, welcome to day 2 at the Southwest Conference. I'm here with Dave Richards from CryptoPay.
Yeah.
Dave, how's the show been so far?
The show, Chris, has been pretty good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Anything new and exciting at CryptoPay we want to share with our customers?
Goodness. We're always moving and shaking at CryptoPay. Let's see. We've got a wonderful thing that we call the Coinless app.
Yes.
We love it. It's moving and shaking our company.
Yeah.
Okay. The other thing we have is the ability to use our new product, which is called CryptoPay Plus.
Give us a little bit about CryptoPay Plus.
CryptoPay Plus is a wireless product that's hands off, and you just take your credit card and bloop,
Quick tap.
quick tap.
Yeah.
That's right.
You're always innovating and moving forward. We appreciate the partnership. For those of you who don't know,
Yeah.
CryptoPay and EverWash partnered on the Coinless app for the enhancements that Dave talked. Check it out on both our websites. Dave, thanks for your time. Good luck
You're
on
welcome.
day 2.
Thanks, Chris.
Hey, it's Chris with EverWash. I'm here with Esri De La Rosa, the Vice President of Administration for Easy Clean Car Washes and JPO Wash Solutions. Esri and his company, they are partners with EverWash, a recent partner in 2025. I want to ask you a question. You have the unique perspective of coming to the Southwest Show as a car wash owner, operator, and a distributor. How do you approach that when you get here?
Well, I really have to wear 2 hats.
Mm-hmm.
I have to turn around every once in a while. I come in here looking for what's new, for my vendors, and then turn around and what's good for our car wash.
So, Esri, since you started with EverWash at 22 locations towards the end of 2025, how's it been going so far?
Very smooth.
Yeah?
I don't even have to think about the way the program works. You guys make it so easy.
So you're getting good return on the membership signing up on their own?
They're signing up on their own. It's easy for them just to get their phone and make it all happen.
That's what we like to hear. Thanks again for your time. We'll talk to you soon.
Cool. So awesome videos, Chris. Awesome conversation. Shout out to Brandon from our team who recorded them. Our in-house podcaster, Brandon.
Yes.
So Chris, what are some of the takeaways you had from those conversations? If you want to shout out any of the folks you had a chance to speak with, that'd be great.
David CryptoPay. I spoke to him at length, not only on the video. I do want to say one thing before I get into this. I have a whole new appreciation of when you did this. I mean, I've seen you do this for a few years. I always thought I was good, Max, but I saw the video and I'm like, damn, Max is really good. It was fun. Everybody really was. I didn't have to talk anybody into doing it. Let's just say that. And there was a couple wash partners, as you saw in there, a couple vendors and people we work with and people from the industry. So I'd like to thank you all for taking a minute or two with us. We had to edit, not because of anything you guys said on that. It was really me. But, I look forward to you getting back at it at ICA and really, which provides more opportunity. But I maybe have to steal one or two, though. Just, now you got me hooked. It's addicting.
I'm happy to share the spotlight, of course. There's plenty of microphones to go around.
No, not from what I hear. My friends tell me, who's that kid on your podcast with you? You should talk less. I'm like,
well, no, you can't leave the whole job over to me, Chris. But, speaking of industry events, we got another big one coming up in just a few months. The ICA's the Car Wash Show is happening in Nashville this year, and that's happening from May 11th through 13th. As I said, in Nashville. If you're planning on attending that, be sure to stop by and visit the EverWash team. We'll be posted up in booth 1155. Again, that's booth 1155. And later in today's episode, we're actually going to be joined by Kendra Johnson from the ICA, who's going to talk to us about what operators can expect from the show and how they can make the most out of their time in Nashville, whether it's on the show floor or on the main strip in Broadway. So, we're really excited to bring that conversation to you. But before then, we have some other stuff to get to. We have our At the Wash segment. We have our Data Drip segment. So we're going to take a quick break. We'll come back to the show with At the Wash with Sean Pashley, where we're going to talk about how operators can prepare for the pollen season ahead. So keep it locked here on Members Only, the EverWash podcast, and we'll be right back. All right, guys, welcome back to Members Only, the EverWash podcast. It's time for our one of our newest segments, right? It's At the Car Wash with Sean Pashley, where we talk about what operators are seeing on the ground in the industry. We introduced Sean last week. He was in studio with us, had a bunch of great conversations revolving around the EverWash app and his experience visiting car washes. But we're gonna get a live look from on site at EverWash Unlimited in West Conshohocken. So Sean, our car wash correspondent, what's going on at the car wash today?
Hey, Chris and Max, Sean here with our At the Car Wash spot for this pod. going to give you guys something to talk about. It's pollen season, right? So preparing for that is a big deal. It's our annual gut check, as I call it. Not only is it green gold, but this is the perfect time of the year coming out of a busy snow season for us in the Northeast, where we can make sure that we're ready for what is normally our most successful membership time of the year. Is the lot ready, right? If you want to get the parking lot redone, now's the time before everyone else gets it done right before summer. Are the uniforms ready? Do you have the summer gear ready to go? You have all the sizes you need? You don't want anyone feeling left out. Now's the time to reward the staff for the great job they did this winter in helping get through. It's been wild, right? Now's the time to make sure that your team is ready, trained, and motivated for this green gold season. And it's time to get other people training. It's sort of an overcast day here at the wash. So we've got somebody training, a towel guy who normally does drying. He's stepping up and getting some reps in while it's a little bit slower, and we can control his pace. So now's a great time to do that cross training, make sure everyone's ready to jump in. You never want to depend on a salesperson. He or she, think of it as an organization, a football organization. You're the GM. If that person signs a bigger contract elsewhere or retires, who's your next person up to fill that position? Are they on the team, or do you need to go draft someone? If you need an Indeed ad, we've got some great ones. Just ask your account manager here at EverWash. They can provide you with a great Indeed ad that I've used to really increase our staff and find some great people. So hiring, training, developing, and then do we have any equipment that's on its way out? Hopefully you're doing preventative maintenance. Now's a great time to say, hey, we've had that tire scrubber, that poodle brush that's been looking a little hurt for a while. Why don't we replace that now? It's better to get these things done proactively. We've had, for the most part across the country, a really good winter season. So let's reinvest some of those funds in making sure that our car wash is at its best for green gold season, and then the rest of the summer as we do the best we can to hold on to our membership and reward our members and our employees alike. So check in on all the basics. Hug the walls, as I say. Go from the front of your car wash to the back of your car wash, side to side, in and out. If it needs to be replaced, let's look at replacing it. Let's look at making this place, your place, any place, as good as it can possibly be for the peak season. Like I said, make it your annual gut check. Be honest with yourself. If you don't think you can be honest, ask employees, ask loyal customers what they need. Always respect what your customers and members have to say. That's free help for you. So Chris, Max, that's what I got for you guys. Hopefully that's enough to talk about. Thanks, and I'll see you soon.
That was awesome. Thanks again for that live recap and message, Sean. It's great to see you out there in the flesh at the car wash. Chris, what are your main takeaways from Sean's little memo to us?
As always, there's a lot of things, but first and foremost, that man loves being at car washes.
Sure
it
does.
Just comes across as plain as day on the thing. He loves it more than being in here, which I find strange. No, I'm kidding, Sean. But the demanded pollen season as we come into the new season, the preparation, again, you're going to hear me talk about preparation a couple times today. It really is key. Everybody knows that. Last week, our guest last month talked about that. It's very important to prepare for pollen. What are your membership opportunities? Have you plateaued? Different strategies, things like that. And that's where, consulting with Sean or your account manager or even Frank at EverWash on our partner growth team can help you prepare for these. If you're listening to this podcast, at the end of March, beginning of April, and you haven't prepared yet, there's a good chance you're going to miss the season. Your prep should start December, January, and the opportunity's there. Grab it while it's in front of you.
Yeah, 100%. And I can't stress the preparation aspect enough on my end. And if you go to everwashpartners.com and visit our blog, we actually have posted some great marketing tips and tricks and strategies for how you can take advantage of things like spring cleaning or things like, pollen, signage ideas, digital promotion ideas, sales pitch ideas that you can, try to implement with your team on site. So, we have a lot of resources out there in addition to the people, written stuff, but feel free to reach out to, whether it's your account manager or sales team, reach out to me directly if you have questions about the marketing strategies or promotion side of things. Ultimately, what we want is to drive success during this time of year, because it is really so important to knock your busy season out the park.
Yeah, and that's part of our core differentiators we always feel, and our value is helping you prepare for these seasons, whether it's pollen season or the summer when it slows down a bit, things we can do then with marketing suggestions. But one thing Sean always emphasizes, and I think this comes from him being at the wash for the year and a half, almost 2 years, is the employees. I think it's critical that they play a factor in this. Russ said it again last month when he was our guest, but they are your front line. Make sure they're prepared, incentivize them, make sure they see the difference they can make. And, anyone who manages employees understands that. So good call out, Sean. I appreciate that.
Yeah, once again, major thanks to Sean. Great insights as always. We look forward to his next segment and wherever we might find him. Where in the world is Sean Pashley?
He wants those 11 states he mentioned last month. So
awesome. Well, we're going to take another quick break, everybody. When we return, it'll be time for Data Drip with EverWash analyst Jane Lee. We're going to dig into the real numbers behind membership pricing changes. So stay right here. It's members only, the EverWash podcast. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Members Only, the EverWash podcast. It's time for Data Drip, where we're going to break down real data and insights from across the EverWash network. That's one of the great things about working with so many car washes. We have so much data to drill into and give you guys some real feedback on what we're seeing in the industry. So joining us again for this segment is our data analyst, Jane Lee, who's here to talk about trends and insights relating to pricing changes, membership pricing changes specifically. So Jane prepared a brief video for us on the topic. So take it away, Jane.
Thanks, Chris and Max. So today we'll explore how price changes can be strategically implemented without negatively impacting your business. The first example we'll look at is a price increase, and when done with the right approach, it can boost revenue while maintaining acquisition. So using a mature express tunnel in the Southeast PA area with approximately 3,000 members, they increased their prices on all 4 plans. The base plan went from $17 to $21. The following plan went from $24 to $27. Their next plan went from $27 to $30, and their top plan went from $30 to $34. So the average price increase per plan was about $3. Gross revenue increased about 20%, and acquisition was flat. There was about a 2% increase when comparing the acquisition 6 months prior and 6 months after the price change. The price increase also occurred during peak season for the area, so being thoughtful about timing can also support in keeping acquisition steady. Additionally, since the previous increase occurred more than a year ago, members are not consistently exposed to pricing changes, which supports their stability and retention. Now let's dive into price decreases. So after monitoring acquisition trends and plan pricing at a group of express tunnels in the Northeast Ohio area with an average of 3,000 members per location, EverWash recommended lowering prices as they were identified as a barrier for increasing acquisition. So they decreased their prices on their 2 main plans. Their first plan went from $36 to $34, and the following plan went from $45 to $40. So the average price decrease per plan was about $3, acquisition increased by 40%, and gross revenue increased by 30% when comparing the 6 months before the decrease and 6 months after. So it might not seem like it, but price decreases can actually be a strategy. Like you see in this example, it definitely played a role in improving membership growth. And I also wanted to mention that decreasing can make membership offerings more attractive against the single wash prices, which further assists in membership growth. So Max and Chris, I would love for you guys to share your thoughts on pricing changes and additional details on how we support locations through them.
Awesome. That was a great video. Thank you so much, Jane, for preparing this for us.
Hey, Max, if I could interrupt.
Yeah.
I'm getting her in this studio at some point this year. I talked to her today when she was in the office. Man, she would be so good at this. I think she's a little nervous. She thinks I'm serious about it, but man, I would love to get her.
The lights don't actually feel so bright when you're in here. It calms down after a little bit. So yeah, Jane, we'd love to have you in, but for now, would love to talk about what you prepared for us, and it's interesting, right? This is a really interesting topic that we're talking. It's going to challenge a lot of what operators think when we get to the bottom of this conversation, because the instinct in this industry is usually pretty straightforward. If I need more revenue, I need to raise prices. But what Jane's data is showing here is that it's not that simple, right? Honestly, it opens up a lot more strategy than you might think. If you feel like your business needs a price increase, maybe because costs are rising, margins are getting a little tight, all real things that we're seeing today, the good news is the data suggests that you can increase your prices without hurting your acquisitions or your conversions. You won't kneecap your overall sales performance if you do that. So there is a little bit of a green light, scenario at play here. But if your wash is already performing well, things are really stable, but you've hit maybe a bit of a sales plateau, not so much a revenue plateau, but a sales plateau. The data suggests that the opposite move in decreasing your prices might be more effective than raising them. So, if you lower your membership pricing, even slightly, it'll increase your conversions, it'll drive more signups, and can actually lead to more total revenue in the end, because you're getting more people in through the front door. And that's the part that I think flips the script a little bit, because you're not really thinking about price as a lever for margin anymore. You're thinking about it as a lever for growth. And that's the biggest takeaway. On top of that, there's another layer that we need to unpack. It's that when you lower your membership pricing, you can couple that with an increase in your single wash pricing, which only makes the membership more valuable, more enticing, more exciting. It's a better deal.
Yeah, you keep it closer to that 2-to-1 ratio, or even a little below the 2-to-1. People think, to your point, Max, it's not always about raising prices as your expenses raise. It's about managing growth. And that's a key element to that. When I read this, when you put it on paper, it made total sense to me. And that's how we portray it. Let's just say that. And I know we're gonna have more conversation around this. Thanks, Jane. The data was phenomenal. That specific wash, I was part of that planning. And when the sales rep brought that up to them, I was like, whoa, hold on.
It's a change of philosophy,
right? It's a change of philosophy, but it took us a little while to sell it to them, but it achieved the goal they wanted.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, I think that it comes down to what your business needs and not what you think the business needs, right? And again, that's where that consultation, comes.
One thing I would say is, when you do this, and I may repeat myself later, and I apologize, you have to have strategic preparation to raise your prices or lower them. There's a lot of things you got to think about. It's very important you don't shoot from the hip, because that's when you get in trouble. As your costs rise, there's things you have to do to increase your revenues and your margins. And we like to be part of that consultation process with you to share stories and experiences from our partners who've been successful and ones who haven't been successful. So there's a lot of learnings from our team, but strategic and prepared, 2 words I'm going to harp on as we talk about this.
So, when we look at the 2 scenarios, the increase or the decrease, we kind of talked about, certain indicators as to what should put you in either bucket. But, how would you talk to a car wash operator who comes in saying we need to raise prices? How would the conversation go for you to say, hey, before we do that, let's take a closer look and make an informed opinion?
Yeah, I always like to see what the end goal is. Okay, so you're going to raise prices. 2 questions. What's your end goal, and why? Why do you think you need to do this right now? And we talked through it. You laid it out with increased expenses, whatever it is, water costs, taxes, all things factor into
labor.
And then we have enough data to say, okay, you want to get from point A to point B? Well, give us a week, give us some time. We're going to work on a plan to get you to point B, present it to you, whether it's raising or decreasing, depending on prices. And there are certain factors along that journey we like to point out and talk through. But I said this in the first episode, and it's critically important. You know your business. We're there to consult with you. It's just as important for us to learn from you what you want, and what's important to you, and what works in your area, in your specific location. So it's a consultative process. And Our team does it all day, every day. So please take advantage of that. It's part of what we do, but it's not just I need to raise my prices. There are other factors you have to take into consideration.
Yeah, right. And part of those other factors is value perception, right? And Russ, one of the things that he really harped on in last month's episode was how to make the customer truly feel like they are getting value out of the membership. We've talked about freebie zones. We've talked about, just like really special VIP kind of touch moments, touch points with your customers. I think that the idea of decreasing membership pricing but increasing the single wash pricing is one of the smartest things an operator can do to really go in on the value of membership. And that could be one of those things, as the data shows, that really kind of boost the conversion side of things, because now that conversation is so much easier. You came in here to buy a single car wash, get your car washed once, but you see the value of becoming a member now, especially as we get into pollen season. We can talk about, this car is going to be dirty again in 3 days. You can come in and get it washed whenever you want. Obviously you want to, maybe not go all in on the unlimited wash, discussion there, but you want to let people know they can get all the value they can get out of, that they want out of that membership.
Well, another point of the consultation is everyone has like I said earlier, everybody has a different reason why they want to get where they want to get to. You saw in Jane's data, the ones who raised it only went up 2%, in acquisition over a 6-month period or 3-month period. But the one that caught everyone off guard of lowering your prices went up 40%.
It's huge.
So you have to factor that in. The biggest factor that we discussed, or I discussed with an operator who wants to raise them significantly, and there are some who do, is retention. Statistics and data that we have show you need to plan for losing 20 to 25% of your members on a raise. And again, goes back to the preparation. You grandfather the current members in over a 90-day, 60, 90-day period. It eases that transition. Don't just hit them with, on March 18th that on April 1st, you're going from $34 to $38. That doesn't sit well. You have to be cognizant of your existing members and do everything you can to limit attrition.
And part of that preparation comes in the communication side of it too. You need to be smart about how to communicate these kind of price changes, right? And anytime you're going to introduce a price change, on my end, on the marketing and communication side, you want to also pair that news with some good news. Well, yes, we're increasing prices, but we're also doing a renovation. We are adding free vacs for our members. We are readjusting our chemical blend to, produce a cleaner car for each and every member that comes through here. So when we're coming up with these pricing plans, let's make sure we come up with the right message, so that way when the folks are seeing it, they aren't gasping at a price increase. They're saying, oh, well, at least I know where my extra $1 or $2 is going each month, right?
Yeah, and to that point is there's a lot of different flavors. Right. What I mean by that is there's a lot of different operators who want different things. We just raised prices for a car wash that was very concerned of volume. They thought they were past capacity. He doesn't want that. They were talking about leaving because they didn't see the value of membership because of the volume they were doing through that, but not looking at the revenue. Okay, so you know what? Raise your prices 10% and lose 20%. Your revenue stays flat, less maintenance on the car wash. Everybody wins. You don't just want to walk away from that recurring revenue. It is all about, again, I'm harping on this, and I may get edited, but it's about the strategy in the preparation and the consultation with us. For our members. If you have questions, call us. We'll put you in front of the right people. We'll get you the right data. We'll get you your data to help make an informed decision.
And that's it. I think this is a great kind of place to kind of close this loop is, you want to make sure you come in with the most informed opinion or informed information as possible, right? Like, because you can't just pivot on the dime with this. If you decide to raise your prices, you can't go back and a week later bring them back down.
Yeah, you can't shoot from the hip.
100%.
Once that horse is out of the barn, it's gone.
Yep. So, anything else you wanted to add on that, Chris?
No, I just want to thank Jane, and great job as always.
Yeah, thank you, Jane, and we hope to get you in the studio one of these days.
Right here. And got a spot for you.
And just a little programming note, because these shows are getting so packed and lengthy, we're going to start alternating our two segments here at the Car Wash and Data Drip each month, so that way we can kind of alternate the voices and diversify some of the content you guys are getting here each and every month. So again, thanks to Sean, thanks to Jane for all the work you guys have put in the last 2 months, and we look forward to your next stories and Data Drips to uncover.
Yes, we do.
Cool. So we're going to take another quick break here. And when we come back, we'll be joined by Kendra Johnson from the ICA to preview the Car Wash Show in Nashville. Keep it locked here on Members Only, the EverWash podcast. Welcome back to Members Only, the EverWash podcast, where we are back for today's main interview of the show. Joining us is Kendra Johnson, the Chief Experience Officer at the International Carwash Association. That's right.
That's how she introduced herself.
That's right. Kendra helps lead the experience behind the Car Wash Show, which is, again, coming up soon in Nashville. Kendra was recently promoted to this role in January of 2026, and she's been with the ICA for a while now, serving as a Senior Vice President of Growth and as a Vice President of Business Development before that. Kendra will get into her backstory in our interview. In her current role, though, she's responsible for shaping and delivering best-in-class experiences across ICA events, leading strategic planning, driving operational excellence, and building partnerships that expand reach and deepen engagement across the industry. She also oversees business development for the ICA's learning and development and content teams, helping align education, media, and research to better serve operators and support the evolving needs of anyone in the industry. At the core of her work, though, is it's simple: creating standout experiences and meaningful resources for operators that really connect, grow, and lead them. So, without further ado, Chris, here's our conversation with Kendra Johnson from the ICA. Kendra, welcome to Members Only, the EverWash podcast. Thank you for being here today. How you doing?
I am doing so great, Max, and just so excited that you invited me to join you for this conversation today. You and Chris are two of my favorite people, so there's nowhere else I'd rather be.
Yeah, right back at you. We love seeing you and your team at every car wash show that we attend. You guys are an important part of the industry, an important part of our family. So yeah, really, really excited to have you on here to talk a little bit about the upcoming car wash show in Nashville, as
That's
well as
up.
that's coming up, believe it or not. Yeah, we're just a few weeks
great.
away. But
well, I didn't know really. Where is that again, Max? I'm not sure.
Well, we'll get into a little bit of talking about Nashville itself, the lovely city where we will be taking over. The car wash industry will be taking over.
Definitely.
But before we get into the show, Kendra, I wanted to talk a little bit more about you, who you are, how you've made your way into the car wash industry. It's a bit of a niche market, right? So
yeah,
tell us a
you
little bit
let
about
me
yourself.
in. Yeah. I broke right in, and I haven't been found out yet. So I'm gonna stick around for a while if that's all right with you guys.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so actually my story in car washing is kind of one of a rebound, if you can follow this. But I used to work on the car wash show on the event side, probably like 15 or so years ago. And I supported just execution of not just, but I supported on the trade show execution of this lovely car wash show that we'll be speaking about here in more detail about this year's show. But about 15 years ago, I was behind the scenes and working with our general service contractor to get the exhibitors what they needed and map the floor and kind of just cater to the needs of the exhibitors. And I did that for a couple of years, and then I bounced out of events and I started focusing on business development efforts. So I've always had a role in more or less associations or in really those service businesses that were really designed to connect service and the business needs to the end user there. And so I had, an experience with Car Wash Show about 15 years ago. And then a few years ago, Eric Wolf, reached out to me via lovely LinkedIn. It's a wonderful place to keep active and to keep updated. So you heard it here first that new opportunities can come your way randomly through the glorious space of LinkedIn. And he reached out and asked if I was interested in exploring a new career with ICA, and that was one in the business development realm. So I was sitting in that seat for a while on the team the last few years, and then recently I've shifted to more of a leadership role as Chief Experience Officer at ICA. So it's just been such a fun journey, but I'm definitely a rebound. I was there a little bit, for a while, and then thank goodness I found my way back.
Well, congrats on the promotion. I guess it was in January that you were elevated to Chief Experience Officer, which is a very, very cool title, by the way.
Totally. I mean, don't ask my parents what I do. I still think they think I work doing wedding planning or something. I'm like, no, Mom and Dad.
Just give them the acronym.
Yeah.
You're still the CEO in the end, right?
Right. Yeah, it's X though. So I want to be very clear on this that I'm the X, and we have a CEO. We share a wall here. So I'm very grateful to be the X to his E for sure.
That's funny. Yeah, you have to kind of change it up a little bit when you're the experience officer. Well, congrats again. I love that. And I guess before we kind of get into the car wash show, what is it that you've really come to love about the car wash industry? What's become your favorite thing?
Oh my gosh. I mean, what's really not to love? It's the simplest in terms of businesses, right? Like it's a service industry that is designed to create a clean, shiny experience for its customers. It's a family affair. It's a feel good about yourself when you're going somewhere affair. It's a had a rough day over here, and 3 minutes later you come out of the other side and you just feel a little bit better about maybe where you're headed next. It's the industry is so collaborative. They're so competitive, but so collaborative. And it's family businesses, which I just love. But then with this, the last few years infusion of, private equity and, kind of public interest, it's been fun to see how it's matured, but also still in some ways stayed true to itself. And so I really appreciated that they could have kind of spun off, right? And they haven't. They've really kind of tried to stick with what they know how to do best and stick with their roots and really experience over anything else. And so I'm just really proud to be a part of that industry, and anything I can do to continue to shine a light and spotlight what they're doing, I'll take full advantage of that opportunity on their behalf.
That's fantastic. I can attest to that personally, because Kendra is not only shot out of a cannon on the podcast here, but this is the true Kendra we're experiencing right now. You are 100 miles an hour every time I see you, every time I talk to you. I've never, in 30 plus years of experience, seen somebody who's so passionate about what they do 24/7, and that's a testament to you.
Thanks, Chris.
Not just your love of the industry, but what your love of servicing, that service industry aspect, and it comes across loud and clear.
That's so great to hear.
Yeah, and I think, Chris, that resonates with us too. A lot of what Kendra highlighted as what she really loves about the industry is a lot about what we at EverWash really kind of hang our hat on, and what we really love. It's the personal experience. It's helping family businesses out. It's a lot of that collaborative, wash together, win together mentality. So love how everyone in this industry seems to be really aligned on that mentality. So that's great, Kendra.
It is.
Customers.
Oh, I'm sorry, Kendra.
No, go ahead.
It's very unique in the sense of what Max just said. Everybody roots for everybody, it almost seems like.
Yes.
I never experienced that in my professional life. Everybody was so competitive. It was, this pharma company versus this trucking company versus this. Everybody wants everybody to win. Everybody is willing to lend a hand to what Max said, and that's what it's a unique industry in a positive.
Rising tide lifts all boats is something that keeps coming up into my mind too. But I mean, listen, customers nowadays, they can see through the BS. Like they don't want to be sold on something. They want a guaranteed experience from our operators. And the operators want a certain level of guaranteed and assumed service from their suppliers. I mean, there's just an implied level of like, hey, let's just be transparent in what we're asking our customers to pay for. And then the service we want to provide our operators to make sure that they can pass that service along. So it's easy to work in an industry like this where it's just no frills, no fuss, like they're just there to give an A+ experience every time and make small incremental changes to just keep building on that customer base. It's such a fun place to work.
Yeah, and to kind of transition over to talking about the car wash show, one of the best places to work is at the car wash show, right? And that's where you live. So, why don't you kind of tell us a little bit about what we can expect in Nashville coming up in May, and what are you most excited about this year?
Yeah. So Max, I actually love that you kind of positioned it like a place to work, because honestly, that's what we hope the show provides for both operators and suppliers. We know suppliers, as you guys very well know, you're showing up to work, you're hustling, you are there to work, you're there to make connections, but it should be work for the operator side too. When they show up, they should be prepared to have, thoughtful conversations, and they should have a list of things, a list of targets that they want to hit, a list of things they want to explore and things that they want to see or listen to. And I know when I think about what excites me this year is that, up to this point, we've been really good about bringing in thought leaders from within the industry. There's no one better to tell us about how to get 10 steps down the road than someone that's 30 steps ahead of us. And so we've been really good about bringing in experts from within the space, both operators and suppliers. But this year we're like, you know what? Like, let's bring in kind of outside perspectives, because now there's no better perspective for our operators than maybe what some adjacent markets are exploring and kind of pushing and pulling. So if you think about like subscriptions, that's a table stakes business opportunity for many of our operators, right? And especially for a team like you guys know nothing better than like the importance of that subscription model. And so like, let's bring in someone from Netflix to tell us about how subscription that at that level are finding success. And then let's pull some of that thought leadership down and really kind of, position it to how it can be resonant for our operators. The same from like, United or Chick-fil-A. And so I share those big brands because it's the first time that we're really bringing in kind of some outside perspectives to the show's educational tracks this year. And then I also know that, I just spoke with Eric Wolf about this the other day as he prepares his state of the industry. Well, the state of the industry has never looked more diverse. So he's having to really challenge himself and bring on people to the panel to discuss what's next. So I think about those featured sessions and those really fun topics that just feel a little bit different this year.
I love that. Yeah. And I know I always get a lot out of those education sessions, to your point, Kendra, as suppliers, we're there to work, right? But part of that work is seeing what else is out there and doing some of that market research and sitting in on some of these sessions and hearing these different voices. So to hear that you guys are bringing in people from outside of the industry, I've been in the industry for almost 9 years now. So of course, there's always no shortage of voices to hear, but a lot of the stuff, can get a little stale. So bringing folks in from outside and entirely new perspectives, I'm really excited to learn from people from Netflix, for example, right? That's awesome.
I know. I mean, they're not short on subscriptions, right? Subscribers. No. I mean, half the time I don't even know what I'm subscribed to these days. I found out the other day that me and my husband, I kid you not, this is a true story. We both have different car wash subscriptions. We didn't realize it. We literally talked to each other the other day, and I was like, oh, I'm going to get a car wash. He's like, how are you? Like, I'm like, I don't know if I should use the name here, but I'm going to JetBrite. You heard it here first. I go to JetBrite. I go to Delta Sonic too sometimes, but like I was like, I'm going to JetBrite to get my car wash. He's like, do you have a subscription there? I was like, yeah. He's like, wait, I have one too. So we both we're like, what are we doing? Like that, but that's the consumer nowadays. You just get the subscription based on convenience. Sometimes in the same house, you don't even know you're shaking at the same tree. But so it'll be a fun topic to unpack with the leader of Netflix for sure.
All right. So who canceled their subscription and then jumped on the other one?
Oh, he did for sure. No,
you're if anyone's professional after all.
Yeah, if anyone's going to manage the subscriptions for car washing in our house, it's definitely going to be me.
So, on the topics of subscriptions, 10 years ago when we were first getting EverWash kind of started, subscriptions and membership, that was like the new and exciting trend that everyone was talking about. It was brand new. It was definitely disrupting, and now it's like you said, it's a core staple to every business out there now.
Foundational.
But
Yeah.
that being said, what are some of the new trends and kind of exciting things that you've seen? Like, what is something that, you know, will be making its debut at this show that in 10 years we're going to think of that as the new subscription for car washing, right? The new exciting thing that everyone's going to have in about a decade.
Yeah, man, if I had that crystal ball, I think I might have a different job, right?
Right.
Max, I don't know, but no, but so on the subject of like what will be new or what's the area of focus at the show, like I'll tell you that in the same way that we went outside the industry to try to get some really good perspectives, we kind of went kind of underneath foundational, kind of benchmarks for where businesses need to be going for operations. What we said was we were like, all right, like if many of them are already doing subscriptions, they're doing them well and they're evolving in real time and they've got really good supplier partners that can kind of, horse lead water. They're getting there. Like there's another layer that we wanted to really spotlight and shine a light on. Whoa!
Special effects.
Oh my gosh!
You heard it here first. We saw it here first on the members only podcast, folks. We have pyro.
No expense for our VIP guests.
I am loving that. I wish I was saying something better than leading up to this fact, which was that. So we're kind of bringing it back to maintenance and equipment. I mean, you guys, like without the proper maintenance and the right fit equipment and then the right maintenance of that equipment, like there's no car wash. There's no experience. There's no new site. There's no grand opening. There's none of that. And so you can sell subscriptions all the live long day, but if you don't have the tunnel to be able to service the customer, then it's just a pass-through payment that they're eventually going to catch on to and they're going to cancel. And so that tunnel better be ready to receive that customer and move people through that line and that less than 3-minute pace. I think that might be the average nowadays, but so it's one of those things where we went back kind of to the maintenance and the equipment and we were like, we've got to spotlight that. So I will tell you that some of our education is really focused on those individuals in those roles and have those responsibilities on teams, but also just spotlighting the importance of having those people at the show. And that if they're a part of the conversation too, the conversation might shift and that would be for the better. So it's driving those people to attend, but also making space for them as part of the education program. Max, the other thing too is about new products and services. So the last couple of years, we've really tried to spotlight those. Mm-hmm. It's really hard for suppliers. And you guys, again, it's great to be talking to someone that is in that experience. Like you design your booth space to be kind of inclusive of your current customers and then attract new, right? You want to make space to have conversations, demo, show them what's going on, have some time to have just some catch-up conversation. It's hard to fit everything in that square footage space. And so we've created these opportunities outside of the booths that really spotlight new products and services. And so the last couple of years, we've had this new product showcase. And so this year we've made it kind of part of the thoroughfare. And when I say that, it's like you move from registration to the trade show floor to education, you'll just naturally pass through the new product showcase this year. So you won't even have to think about finding it. You'll just end up in it. And I know we've got, about a dozen or so new products that are already secured in that space. And so that'll be a really great opportunity for people to see what's new from the exhibitors, go to the floor to check out more details and kind of make notes about what they should be thinking about for 2027 and beyond.
That's awesome. Yeah, I was always a huge fan of that, that Innovation Alley,
Yes.
area. So it's cool to see that continue to expand and grow. And it's also a great place to maybe meet your new best friend in the industry, right? So
oh my gosh, isn't that where our meet cute was in the Innovation Alley? I'm pretty sure it was.
I'm pretty sure it all started there.
And Max, you'll be proud to know that you and Chris and the EverWash team were part of what was the kind of one of the first editions of Innovation Alley. That collection of exhibitors, which are first-time exhibitors to our show, has expanded to its own floor this year. They're in their own hall. There
That's
are
amazing.
over 100 exhibitors, 100 exhibit spaces of varying sizes that are up on in Hall 1 on the 4th floor of the convention center. So this is the first year that the car wash show is in 2 halls. I mean, that's how much the industry is growing. Like, we blew out of the center in terms of the space they'd give us. We moved up to a new floor, and that's just with new companies. So you were part of the start, but yeah, it's been such a wonderful journey to see that thing grow. It's awesome.
Yeah,
Max,
it speaks volumes.
I always thought you were an OG, Max.
Yeah, you guys are the OGs, so
You're
yeah.
the youngest
I have a
OG I
short
know.
list. I have a short list of OGs. Yeah, that's for sure.
Oh, I love it. No, it's great to see, that is truly a testament to the growth of the industry, the innovation in the industry, and the fact that there is so much opportunity still here for everybody, not just for, established players like us. And it's crazy because we always like to hang our hat on like, oh, we're the startup, we're the new guys on the block. We've been around for a while now, so
Not anymore.
it's kind of cool to see the new guard coming up and continuing to, to push us and help, innovate everybody. So
Yeah.
can't wait to take a walk through more than an alley, innovation neighborhood, I guess, right?
Oh yeah, it's like
Innovation City.
it's a whole city. Yeah, definitely.
Cool. So, anything else you want to talk about, what's new at the show, Kendra? Otherwise, we're gonna pivot to kind of some tips and tricks from your perspective.
Yeah, I'd say that maybe just the final, I know we mentioned, the idea of like reoccurring revenue models, and those are certainly going to be a theme throughout the education. And I know many of the suppliers are going to be focused on that as talking points from their exhibit space. But I think I'd be remiss if I didn't stress that, many of our sessions and content programming will focus on some of the timely themes like AI, right? Like, I mean, that feels like something I just have to address, that I'm saying, yes, we will be addressing that in some ways throughout the educational content. I know many of the suppliers are preparing, I'm sure you guys are, to show up and speak to that as part of the evolution of your products and services. So like, I just want to make sure that the operators are there, and when they show up, they can expect that that's going to be an underlying theme through some of the content. I mean, it's one of those things that, like, as the industry continues to see this momentum, like, the show is really that place where you can go and see what that growth looks like in practice. And so we want to be able to kind of match that expectation. So like products, strategies, people building, all of those things will still be part of the programming. But yeah, it'll be like I said, what is it? Rising tides raises all the boats. It'll just be that kind of thing that the suppliers will be prepared to talk about that as we match that in some of the content. We'll both kind of need to show up for our operators in that way.
That's awesome. We got to come up with a car wash metaphor for the rising tides, like
I
something
know.
like increased chemical volume cleans all cars. I don't know, something like
Yeah,
that.
something about the bubbles and the lifting and the foam. We'll figure it out.
We'll work on it.
I'll ask chat. That's what I'll do. I'll ask chat.
There you go.
It'll be great. It'll be great.
Kendra,
Yeah.
from my point of view, it's always about how do I maximize, and how does EverWash maximize the show experience?
Yeah.
What do we do prior to that? Planning is always a big thing. Are there any tips on planning, what you found out, what you've learned, because you've been on both sides of the rope, as from a planning aspect, now from, running the show. So from somebody coming to the show, what would you recommend? How would you recommend they prepare?
Yeah, and this is good for first-time attendees and also veterans. It's very easy to show up to our show, and to any show, and to say, I want to see the whole floor. Well, that is crazy. Like, there is no way that you can just show up to a trade show with over 200,000 square feet of exhibit space and the kind of breadth we have in exhibiting categories and do that. I mean, you will walk the entire floor and your feet will hurt, but you probably will have not, gleaned anything of importance. And there's so much to see. And so I stress that, it's not just about like, I want to see the whole floor, but maybe 2 or 3 small little nuggets that you're looking to accomplish. Like, I want to understand how operators are approaching this, or I want to find a better solution to do Y. Like, maybe there's a few different questions you're asking yourself. And this could be something you do like on the plane or in the car right there. It doesn't need to be, too far in advance. And then when you show up there and you pull up the app and you sit in your first couple sessions, those questions start resonating with you, and you're like, okay, I really do want to find out this solution. And you quickly search by category to the exhibitors. And then when you're on the floor, it just makes having those conversations with those companies and navigating that space easy. And I can't stress this enough too, because I have such a hard time with it. But making time for that white space, that like those moments in between. You're not always going to be on the elevator, which is where some of those meet cutes happen, and you meet that person or you have that quick 7-second exchange and you see them again, the next day. But just like sit in we have plenty of rocking chairs, sit in a rocking chair, just go grab a cup of coffee or do something, get out of the routine for a bit, stand outside the session room, linger. That's what I would encourage people to do, is linger. Don't loiter, but linger. And maybe you'll see someone and experience a conversation that maybe you weren't expecting.
You take it. I couldn't agree more, but I always use the phrase, take in the experience. Take it in. You don't have to be full steam ahead all the time. Sometimes things come to you.
Yes. Yeah. And also, Chris, like, get up and, like, if you're in a session and it's not hitting the mark, get up and respectfully move on to another session and find something that really resonates for you.
Yes. The best show experience, as I said, Kendra, is taking it in. I've always found that, especially for first-time attendees, because it is, like you said, you're never going to walk the whole floor and get substantial positive experience. Your feet are going to hurt. It's going to be, your head's going to spin. But we talked about preparation planning, and to me, that's far and away the number one. But are there any tips you have for first-time attendees other than planning?
Oh, goodness. I mean, one of the things that we'll have this year that will hopefully be more informative for attendees as they plan for the show will be downloading the app in advance and taking a peek at the attendees. So in the app this year, we're going to be populating in the attendee rosters, and we're going to be making sure that our attendees can kind of see who else will be in the room. We've always shared exhibitor information. We've always made descriptions and staff of the companies that are going to be representing our exhibitors available. But I think it's really important for them to see different operator companies that are going to be in the room, so they know which competitors am I going to be sitting next to in some of these sessions. What are some of my competitors that are going to be walking around the floor seeing the same things as me? And also, who are some of these operators that I could befriend and start building my own network with? Because again, like, while this industry is fiercely competitive, they're also willing to help and also willing to share how they got there, because it's not going to stop them. It can only help you, but it's not going to stop them, which I've always just loved that about the people that work in this space. So yeah, hopefully just taking some time to see who's going to be in the room. And again, really just kind of setting the pace so that you can take those white space moments and kind of linger and kind of just make sure that you're maximizing the downtime.
Now, I think you answered my next question to that about seasoned veterans, but my last question regarding maximizing the show is, and you may not have an answer for this because you've laid out a really good way to approach this show, but from an ICA standpoint, what is like one of the hidden gems that's going to be in Nashville this year? If I came up to you and said, Kendra, what's one thing, when we were at the exhibitor advisory group, which I am now a member of, and that was a great day and a half experience last month. But if I came up to you at that show, at that meeting and said, what's the one thing I can't miss in your opinion?
Chris, those are kind of more or less the most fun conversations, because in our industry, we don't just have veterans that have been there a few years or 5 years. Like we're talking like dozens, 30, 50. Their family's been washing cars for nearly 100 years. I mean, it's like you have these titans that have been around forever, and they're going to walk in with a certain level of like, I've been coming for this long. Same booth, same dinner crew, same sessions. I know this is old hat. Like, go to the new company pavilion. Spend 20 minutes walking around the companies, the suppliers that are showing up to this industry because they couldn't help but want to explore what opportunities are with the operators and maybe even the partnerships with the suppliers. So suppliers should head up there too. It's not just for veteran attendees. I would say veteran suppliers too. You better get your butt up to that new company pavilion, because that's where you're going to see kind of what's next, or who's showing interest in our market and in our industry. And if you see them up there this year, I guarantee you'll see them in what we call Gen Pop, down with all the Titan Industries, the big booths, the guys that have been exhibiting for years and years. And that have the meetings with the operators that have been coming for dozens of years. But like, check out the new company pavilion, because like, even if it inspires nothing but a creative idea you can take back home, like that's the least that we can offer those veterans.
Great tip. Great tip.
Yeah.
Awesome. So we've outlined everything we need to know about the car wash show. We talked about what to expect, what to look out for, how folks can approach it, whether they're a first-time attendee or a seasoned vet. Now I want to talk about what we do after the show, because Nashville's a great city.
Right.
So
it is a great city.
I just want to go around the room here and just like chat through what everyone is looking forward to do once the show floor closes. I know Nashville is one of my favorite places to visit. I think I can, it's safe to say, aside from New York City, which I take trips to every, couple months, Nashville is the US city I've visited like the most, outside of where I live in Philadelphia.
Vegas? What about Vegas? You've been to Vegas a handful of times too, right?
So I got my fifth trip to Vegas is coming up in May. After the show, gonna go see No Doubt at the Sphere. But I think I've been to Nashville 6 or 7. This will be 6 or 7 times.
No,
this is up there. But I love Nashville, and so for our listeners and our watchers out there, my tips. Obviously, Broadway's great. Chris, I know you're going to talk about some of your favorite spots on Broadway. I love catching a Predators hockey game whenever they're in season during the car wash show.
Totally.
I made it out to 2 hockey games. Always a great time. But my suggestion for the folks listening are take some time off the main drag and go visit East Nashville or 12th Avenue South in Nashville. Great places to visit to escape the hustle and bustle. Edley's Barbecue on 12th Avenue is one of my low-key favorites if you can't get in to Martin's or some of the more well-known establishments. So, Chris, I know you had some spots, and then Kendra, I would love to hear what you're looking forward to and what the ICA team is looking forward to get out of the city.
Hey, Max, when we're done, I want to learn more about the number 12, because 2 of the things you mentioned had the number 12 in it, so there must be some relevance.
Well, 12 South is a whole neighborhood down there. It's really cool.
Yeah, it's really cool. Yeah.
The Brooklyn of Nashville. I always look for the Brooklyn of every city,
Oh,
Well,
smart. That is what that would be. Yeah.
I hate to admit it, I've probably been to Nashville more than both of you combined for work and pleasure. It is, again, I agree, Max. It's one of my favorite cities in the U.S. I just love the whole experience. You can do as much as you want or as little as you want, but whenever I'm there, I have to carve out time for Hattie B's.
Oh, yes.
Not optional. Not that. It's, if I can't make it, it'll be the first place I go to or the last.
What level of spicy do you get, Chris?
I go 2 from the top. It's only, I go 3, 4, and it still gets my attention. And I love hot, but I've seen people eat number 5, the top one, and it's not pleasurable.
Kendra, have you experienced Hattie B's?
Milk or something after that? Do they need to order like a pint of milk?
Right.
Yes.
Right.
No thanks.
Have you been there, Kendra? Have you had Hattie B's before?
I have, and I'm a moderate spice. I appreciate spice, and I'm there to watch other people experience it. But I'm gonna save my taste buds for
I'm going to give you and the listeners a little tip. I asked for a grill because when they bread it and fry it, it soaks it in, and it literally will blow your eyeballs out of your head. So telling them on grilled chicken, it's a little calmer. You still get a little bit of the heat, but it doesn't like come in waves. Right. So that's my little hot chicken tip. But whenever I'm in Nashville, whether I'm going out in the day or night, every trip has started at Tootsie's. It's just, it's a legend. It's a classic, iconic bar in Nashville at the end of Broadway. And just the music, the vibe, 3 floors of bands, and just, it's a great place to start and end, to be honest with you. But like you said, Max, getting off the beaten path a little bit. A couple times I went to the Johnny Cash Museum.
Nice.
My dad was a huge Johnny Cash fan, so there is a little relevance for me there. And the first time I really didn't want to go, but I tell you what, I could have stayed 3 hours more than I was there. It just walks through Johnny Cash's whole life, and the memorabilia is outstanding. And it's 2 blocks off Broadway, and it takes about 90 minutes total. And it's just a fun experience, like you said, Kendra, to get off the floor. Similar thing, just take a breath, enjoy a little bit of Nashville. But I know you're going to jump in here, Kendra, but I know the schedule that you and the team have. not sure there's a lot of
I know.
hours enjoyment until the end of the show.
Well, and what's great about so we actually come in early. I mean, our VP of events is in alongside the exhibitors. I mean, she's probably there for is it 11 days? 11
Wow.
days or something. I mean, like it's the effort that goes into building the show is an incredible feat. But so she usually kind of like rolls through some things for us in advance to check them out to make sure that they're still as cool as we remember them from 2 years ago. But I mean, because we rotate between Nashville and Vegas, it's very easy for me to like Vegas to me just feels like very pomp and circumstance, very splashy, very shiny. And there's something so warm and relatable about Nashville. And I know that's why everyone likes coming back there because it just feels a little like coming home ish. Like it feels very comfortable. You feel like the footprint is easily navigatable. You're like, I know where I'm at. I know how to get from point A to point B, even though the convention center is on different floors and that is somewhat confusing, but somehow people figure it out. So I actually think like for me, Nashville isn't like about the pomp and circumstance. It's like bottled beer, barbecue, you can find them anywhere. And no matter where you find them, they're going to be good. They're going to hit the mark. But Chris, I actually like where you were going to about the history of the city. There are so many places to go to see the history of Nashville, the history of country music, the history of so many different kinds of music. Within a few blocks of the city. And I found myself in the Country Music Hall of Fame and Grand Ole Opry last time I was there for a few minutes. Like I was like, I need a couple minutes to like call home, make sure that, the house is still up and the kids are making their way to school and all of that. And I remember I was like, I'm just going to hop in here real quick. And I just walked into the Opry and just like looked around. I didn't take the tour, but next time I told myself I would. It's so beautiful in these establishments. And that would actually be a really great opportunity to take a few of your team members and go and like disconnect from what you've learned at the show, walk around in a new space, and then go grab a beer. Like that would be a really nice kind of process to deploy at this event. But yeah, there's just such a wonderful warmth to Nashville that I know everyone really enjoys.
Yeah, I totally agree. And the thing you said that I think is really important to highlight is people think that Nashville is all about the country music. And while obviously it is home to the Hall of Fame and the Grand Ole Opry, you go to Tootsie's and level 1 will be a country band, level 2 will be like a bluegrass group, and level 3 is like a hair metal group playing Guns N' Roses. It's literally insane. I've actually heard some great hip hop acts out of bars in Nashville.
Oh, I
Great
love that.
DJ sets, like a little bit of everything. So keep your eyes peeled, keep your ears open, regardless of what kind of music you like. I'm sure you'll find something that you enjoy on the streets of Nashville between the hours of noon and 2 a.m.
Yeah.
Like I said, I always tell my daughters, nothing good happens after midnight.
It doesn't. That's very true. That's very true. And the sooner people's daughters realize that, the better off they will be.
Yes.
As a daughter, I think I found that out too late and it did not work out. But now I am a wiser daughter and I have a daughter. So I'll actually move that timeline down to like 9 if she'll have it, for as long as she'll have it. But yeah, but Max, just like one kind of final, just like passing thought too, just like, as people think about this event and about this show, it's a very intense experience for a very short period of time in retrospect to the year, right? Like this is a blimp in everyone's radar. It's a big blimp. Everyone plans for it and there's a ton of effort and expense and energy and all of the things that are put into preparing just for 2.5 days, really, maybe 3 total if you count the sun. It's like, it's such a small window of time. So like what I think the team would want me to make sure that I'm sharing with your listeners and your customers and your followers here would just be like, try to pull something from this that you can take with you back home. Like try as hard as you can. And what I would ask is that if it's harder for you to do than me just asking you to, then email me and tell me how hard it was, or stop anyone that works at ICA and say, I haven't found my thing yet. I haven't really been able to focus on the one thing I'm going to take back. Like we're here to help, and we're here to make the show better for you next time around too, because we're not going anywhere and we keep getting bigger, we keep getting stronger, we keep getting more innovative. And so like, just think about that one really big thing you'll take back, and at your next team meeting or your next engagement with your customer, you're like, oh, this is the one thing I wanted to make sure I told you about. So But yeah, let us know how we can help. And we're just really excited to have everyone back in Nashville this year.
And it's loud and clear. Again, when I was in the meeting last month, the whole team, the whole ICA team, they are locked in. They are ready. And I've experienced for 4 years now. This will be my 5th one, actually. There's no question off limits regarding the show. They will do what you and the team will do whatever you can to make sure it's a great experience for the guests.
Well, with that being said, guys, Kendra, I want to thank you so much for being part of Members Only, the EverWash podcast. Congrats on the Chief Experience Officer promotion.
Thank you.
We're all powered up now.
I love that.
We really look forward to seeing you at the show and appreciate your insight. It's really invaluable here, and the industry is in great hands with folks like you acting as stewards of the ICA. So thanks again. Really appreciate it.
I was so happy to be here. Yeah, and if you're on the fence about going, make sure you register. We're open registering, so we won't take no for an answer. So we'll see everyone that listens to this on May 11th in Nashville. Thanks so much, guys. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Kendra.
See ya. Kendra, thank you so much for joining us. And for those of you who were listening to the show and not watching, and for those of you now watching, there was a point where Kendra shot some fireworks out of her fingers. We are well prepared here at our studio. We have our fire extinguisher.
Yeah, scared the living hell out of me on the interview. But it was hilarious. Great. It was a great little spot in the interview. I just want to make sure we don't burn the studio down.
Yeah, so if you were confused what we started laughing about and talking about pyrotechnics on that interview when you're listening, that's what it was. Kendra is a wizard. A wizard in not only what she does with the ICA, but with actual magic.
Yes, scared me.
So, Chris, any takeaways from that interview aside from the magic of it all?
Just what we talked about earlier. Her energy is infectious. Her love for what she does in that organization and everything she does for everybody, and it could be a small operator in the Midwest or the biggest supplier in the industry. You get the same attention, same level of detail. Her and the team, as you know, I was invited to join the exhibitor advisory group. I got a little peek behind the curtain, as I said on the interview. Every one of them, the passion they have for this, and they put everything they have into it, and it does show. It shows, and they listen. We had some suggestions as exhibitors. They listen. So looking forward to a great show in Nashville.
Absolutely. Yeah, we can't wait to be there. And like I said, you can find us at booth 1155 at Nashville. So looking forward to seeing you there, Kendra. Looking forward to see the rest of the ICA team. And of course, we're looking forward to seeing all of our listeners and our viewers out there in the industry. So we're going to take one final break, Chris. And when we come back, we'll wrap things up with our Suds N Stuff right here on Members Only, the EverWash podcast. All right, we're back for our final segment of Members Only, the EverWash podcast. It's time for Suds N Stuff, where we are going to share a few quick items from around the car wash world, or in our case, our world, really.
Yes.
Chris, you teased me a little bit today in the office. You said you had a curveball for me. You had a question out of left field. What's on your mind, man?
We talked about this, I believe, in the first episode, but as a movie buff, it was your big event last Sunday. So what's your take on the Oscars? The winners, the losers?
I think that the Academy got it right. I think everything that should have won. One battle after another was my pick for movie of the year, and very happy for Paul Thomas Anderson. Big PTA head over here. Love Boogie Nights. Love The Master. I mean, really love all of his movies. Phantom Thread. I mean, they're all fantastic. So I'm happy that he finally got his due. It took long enough. Was really happy for Michael B. Jordan, the other Michael Jordan.
Did you see him after? Did you see what he did that?
In-N-Out Burger?
In-N-Out Burger.
Yeah, he's a man of the people, Michael B. Jordan. It's episode 1, we were talking about how my wife and I were going through a rewatch of The Wire. Michael B. Jordan, that was his first major role as Wallace on The Wire, and now he's, playing twins in Sinners and getting the Academy's highest honor as a result. So was really happy to see that. Thought the tie was pretty funny. I always love watching, live award shows because I'm always waiting for the Will Smith slap to happen,
Yes.
or the John Travolta Adele Dazeem, saying some crazy whatever, on live TV. This was a pretty tame, presentation overall. I think Conan did a pretty good job as the host.
That was my next question. Yeah, I thought he was good.
I could see him being a stand-in or standby host until, of course, they replace him with AI, as he suggested.
Yeah, he has an open invitation. ABC told him anytime you want to host.
No, he's fantastic. I think he's like one of the true remaining comedians out there.
Yes.
I always love to see him on.
He can read the room. Let's just say that.
100%. But yeah, it was great. The Oscars are really the only award show I still watch. Used to be a Grammys guy, used to be an Emmys guy. And now there's just too much TV out there. I haven't seen half the series, too much music out there, and not the biggest fan of pop music these days. So there just isn't a lot out there for me, but being the movie buff.
You're not a Swiftie?
Not a Swiftie. Can't say I'm a Swiftie, unfortunately. Okay, sorry. Don't hurt me.
Unfortunately, I will admit I am one now. When you have a 2-year-old granddaughter, you don't have a choice.
That's right.
You'll find out one day. But no, I know what you say about TV. And, you recommend a lot of things, Brian, Brandon, Mike, in the office. There's just not enough time in the day for what we have to do.
Well, too busy podcasting.
Yes.
I could be watching TV right now, but here we are on your TV.
Yes. Which is frightening enough on many levels. But I teased last week.
Yes.
Or excuse me, last month. The best sandwich in Pennsylvania.
Yes.
Being a Pittsburgh guy and a southeastern PA guy now, Philly guy.
That's right.
Born and raised right over the bridge in Jersey. I know where you're going, but you have a surprise, and I don't disagree. I'm going to put my stake in the ground on the Permanis.
Yes.
I will admit I have a standing order: bacon, double egg, and cheese, no tomato.
You get the egg. You do the egg. You do the full deal.
Yeah, get the full deal. And I found out one thing over the years. As you grow older, as you're growing up, you always ate at around 2:30 in the morning in your 18 to 25 year range. So it wasn't like going out to dinner thing. It was going out after you enjoyed a couple pops that evening. I had it sober once a few years back. Yeah. It's not the same. Still good. Sorry guys, still good. I love it, but it is not as good as it is at 2:30 in the morning.
Chris, I think you need to take a step back and explain to people who are not from Pittsburgh, the non-Yinzers out there.
That is true.
What is a Permani Bros? Who are the Permani Bros?
So it's a family that started a sandwich shop in a strip district in Pittsburgh. I'm sorry, look at this camera. Many decades ago. The original one is still there. If you're ever in Pittsburgh, I highly recommend the experience. It is a sandwich made on French bread. Mm-hmm. All right? 50 different varieties. Again, if you get say you get the capicola and you get the cheese, but to top it off, they put tomato. Mm-hmm. They put the coleslaw on the sandwich where it belongs, and French fries. Even though I'm a Yinzer, never a huge fan. They put French fries on salads in Pittsburgh. That's not a really good thing. It doesn't pair well, and I'm going to catch some heat for that.
I think croutons are the better choice.
Yeah. So you get everything, and you get about 1.5 pounds of meat plus the coleslaw and the French fries and the tomato, and it comes out it's honestly probably 7 to 8 inches high.
They are impressive sandwiches.
Yeah, it is. And it's very good late night fare,
right?
Let's say. But being a Philly guy and the cheesesteaks, I'm just not, looking at me, you would think I eat one a day. I just was never a big cheesesteak guy. I like to take a bite here and there. But I know where you're going with your favorite, and actually, I do agree with where you're going to end up. Really quick,
before I wax poetic on my city and what I love about their carb loads of choice. Are there like fake Permani Bros out there? Like have other delis tried to imitate the classic?
Great question.
Yes,
and I'm not going to tell you where my daughter went to college, but it was a state school in Pennsylvania. When I happened to visit her, there was a fake Permani's there. I'm not going to say the name. The gentleman who opened it, Permani's would not sell him a franchise. I ended up knowing the guy over the 4 years my daughter was there. He was a kid. He was in his late 20s, early 30s at the time. He knew the recipes. He knew how to make everything. All he did, and if I'm talking out of turn, I'm going to get somebody in trouble. I don't care. All he did is in the coleslaw, he put shredded carrot. They didn't do that. So that's how he was allowed to stay open.
That's pretty key in my
opinion. I tell you what, it was dead on. Nice. Same. But if you're in Pittsburgh, there's 2 places you want to go. You want to go to Oakland on Pitt's campus, or the original one in the Strip District. Everything else, even though it's a franchise and a restaurant and they've moved out, it's good. It's just not the experience. The Strip District is the experience. Oakland is the experience. And that's really what you want to go for.
So I visited Pittsburgh for the first time this past summer. Had never been there. Asked you and some other, Pittsburgh friends, like, for all the recommendations, and you were pretty dead set on go to the original Permanis in the Strip District. That's where we did, and it was like going in a time machine, man. It was so old school.
Yep.
The wooden, just the wood paneling, the bar being like it hadn't been touched in 50 years.
I'm thinking. First time I went in there, I was 17. That bar has not changed in 40 plus years.
That's a beautiful
thing.
It
literally, and I was there this week and I didn't go in. I walked by because we had dinner, and actually right across the street, the PA Market, phenomenal if you're in Pittsburgh also for dinner experience. But it is the exact same bar. It's like a diner.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
100%. I loved it. I got the full Italian meats option, right? Yes. Did not go with the egg. That just because we went post wedding festivities, we were a little tuned up too, so wanted to sop it up. But the egg just didn't sit right with me at the time. But next time I go back, we'll make sure we go for breakfast. Okay, I'll do it up proper.
Did you do it? Did you eat the whole sandwich? You split it with?
Oh, of course I ate the whole sandwich, and then I ate half of my wife's too.
That's impressive. That is impressive.
I go to work when the job is in front of me. I go to work.
I got a pizza place for you next time. I won't say it until you go out and eat there. If you can eat more than 2 slices, I'll refund you your money for the pizza.
All right, good. It's a bet.
I'm not going to make that bet with Brian. Brian, that ain't coming because I know you could knock that whole pizza off. But definitely some good pizza places in Pittsburgh, like there is in Philly.
100%. So, all right, now it's time to talk about one of my favorite things, and that's the Philadelphia sandwich, right? The cheesesteak, shaved ribeye, Cheese Whiz is the classic choice. But as a city, we've actually pivoted to Cooper Sharp as our cheese of choice, which I think is a pro move.
Yes.
And then obviously, you get your fried onions as long as it doesn't give you the agita. I am I'm a Cooper wit guy. So a little Philadelphia history or I guess lesson here is there's a proper way to order a cheesesteak. You say the type of cheese you want, Whiz, Provolone, American, Cooper, and then you give them a quick wit or wit out. That's with regards to your fried onions, right? So I want Whiz wit. I want American wit out. It's not with, it's wit. It's key. If you order it incorrectly, they might turn you away at the window if you're at one of the true blue legit steak shops over here in the city. So on top, in terms of the best steak places, you have your classics, you have your Pats and your Genos. I'm a Pats guy. If I had to pick between the two, I'm a Pats guy.
Not Angelo's?
Well, I'm talking about the classic too. Right. Now we've branched out, in the last 15, 20 years in Philadelphia. Now we have more options.
Right.
Angelo's in South Philly is fantastic. They're actually the ones who I think put the Cooper Sharp on the map. I'm sorry if I'm speaking out of turn there, but I think Angelo's was the first time that I had the Cooper on the cheesesteak.
I never heard of Angelo's until about 2 years ago. And again, I'm not a cheesesteak guy, more pizza guy. There's a guy on Instagram called the Godfather of Meat. I'm giving you a shout out. I follow you. He does all the cheesesteak reviews. He probably goes in a 50-mile radius, yes. And it's phenomenal what he does. And I don't want to eat one, and it's at this point it's out of spite. But I would try it. And Lucatelli's up in Doylestown, that's close to me. Phenomenal. My wife got it. I took a couple bites.
Yeah.
Well worth the Portnoy review it got.
Love it. Just to shout out a couple other cheesesteak favorites of mine. Angelo's is great. Del Rossi's in the Northern Liberties neighborhood is fantastic. Great pizza too. They've had a bit of a renaissance in the last couple of years here. They're awesome. Shout out to what was my childhood favorite, D'Alessandro's, over by kind of closer to where we work in the Roxborough section of Philadelphia. You're gonna wait in line, but those thick cut onions just hit so good. They just hit so good.
So what makes a good cheesesteak? Is it the cheese or the bread?
So the bread is key, right? And another trend that we're seeing is the seeded roll is making a bit of a resurgence with the cheesesteak. I like the seeded roll. Some people, they don't think it's traditional, so they do away with that, but the bread is so important. We are truly blessed in the city of brotherly love to have, for having the terrible water supply we have with the Schuylkill and Delaware rivers, we have fantastic bread makers in our city.
Honestly, I don't know if I said it before. I traveled a lot from my previous life. One of the 3 best food towns in the country.
Philadelphia,
New York, Chicago.
100%.
San Francisco it's
up there.
Is a hidden gem,
there, especially if you like Asian food.
Yep.
But I think the key, other than the bread, is the cheese to meat ratio. It needs to be blended in. It needs to be cut in. You can't just put the cheese on top, because then you make your first couple bites. And there's no cheese on there. You're just eating a steak sandwich.
And you're taking the skin off the roof of your mouth.
Yeah, so that is the key. You need to really mix it in there. Same with the onions. The onions, if you go that route, they need to be in there. The other thing I'm going to say is, if you ever order a cheesesteak hoagie, a cheesesteak sub, for those of you who are not from the area, that means a cheesesteak with lettuce, onion, and raw onion and raw tomato. You got to get your head checked, guys, because that it's the cold veggies on the hot sandwich. It doesn't work. It's not okay.
I think we've done enough product placement today that we should have somebody here next podcast with a little table of cheesesteaks.
Oh my God.
I'm not expecting Permanis. That would be lovely, but
oh my God.
Once Permanis leaves that little 3-mile radius, that's where the Oakland, the Pitt campus and the Strip are. That's where you want to be. Cheesesteaks, they are like, I watched that Godfather Meats Instagram reel and I just get hungry.
So you kind of tease this, and I'm about to throw everyone through a loop, because you just heard me talk about cheesesteaks for 5 minutes here. That is not the best Philadelphia sandwich. It is not, I repeat, not the best Philadelphia sandwich.
Are we going to agree on something here?
I think we will.
Food-wise?
I think we will. The true blue, best in class Philadelphia sandwich is the roast pork Italian. I'm talking hoagie, sub roll, right?
Yes.
Your slow roasted, juicy pork, some sharp provolone on top, broccoli rabe, a little bit of garlic in there. You get
I'm not a broccoli rabe
fan.
fan.
You do the spinach?
No, neither. I'm fine with it, like served like a cheesesteak.
Yes.
But my 100-pound niece housed the whole one with the broccoli rabe once.
From?
Denix.
Okay, there you go. And then this is the last product placement of the day. But Denix roast pork, you can find them in Reading Terminal Market, which very near and dear to my heart. It's where I got married. The best place to visit if you're visiting Philadelphia and you have 2 hours to do sightseeing, go to Reading Terminal Market. It's one of the country's oldest, if not the oldest, public food halls. You can find anything and everything there, but you will find the greatest roast pork sandwich in the world there.
Where are we going after this?
Do
you have lacrosse?
I don't have lacrosse, but I'm actually, my grandmother is leaving to go back to Italy soon. My grandpa left last week. My grandma's following suit. So I'm going to Jersey to pick her up, and my wife and I are going to be cooking a homemade meal for her. It'll be fettuccine, homemade marinara sauce, and I'm making chicken cutlets.
Is she critical? Or she just enjoys the experience.
I'm
being with her grandson.
I'm the only grandson, so there will be. I could serve literally the worst meal in the world, and she'll go, "It was fantastic."
God,
and Nonna, I love you for that. So thank you.
I met her and I love her. So, hey, this was a packed episode, Max. We'd be remiss because we haven't done this before. You want to give a shout out to our podcast partner here?
Yeah, I want to give a shout out to Diego from the Flex Space Diego Exchange over here in Germantown, Philadelphia. This studio is awesome. We have a great time coming here each and every month. And anybody who's looking to get a show started in the Philadelphia area, feel free to reach out to us. We'd love to connect you with Diego. He's great.
And he lets us come back every month.
Every single time. It's shocking. I mean, he even lent us a fire extinguisher for our gag here.
So just a little tease about next month. Obviously, we're going to have an operator next month. It'll probably show a release right around the time of the ICA, but we thought it was important to get Kendra on now to get it out there, to promote it for her and the organization and do what we can. But we're going to take a little step back from membership from our perspective and talk about our contact center, our support center.
That's right.
So we're going to bring in a couple of the managers to talk about that next week. An important aspect of what we do and an important aspect of any car wash with members. How do you take care of those members? And I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah, same here. It'll be great to have some folks in studio, have our audience meet some other team members, see some different facets of our organization.
What do you want to talk about next week? Any thoughts? Or next month? Subs and Suds. I threw out the sandwich thing.
That's a good question, man. I don't know.
We're going to tease and say we don't know yet because we really don't know yet.
That's the last thing we come up with before these shows. But yeah, guys, I just want to thank everyone for being for listening, for watching, however you're processing our show this month. Because this does it for episode 3. Another one in the books, Chris.
Another one in the books. Another big milestone for us. We love doing this. We love the social media aspect of it. We're looking for feedback. If you're an owner who happens to catch this, tell us what's important to you. We'd love to talk to you about it on the show. And also Max is going to let me intro a segment next month.
That's right.
So
that's right.
I'm growing, I'm learning, and trust me, I'll never do it as good as you, Max, but I want to experience it. Yeah, I want to live on the edge.
It feels good. It feels good. So yeah, guys, if you're going to be in Nashville, be sure to visit us at booth 1155. We look forward to seeing you there. If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to follow, subscribe, like, all that good stuff, whether it's YouTube, whether it's Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music. Smash that bell so you'll never miss an opportunity to hear Chris and I talk about cheesesteaks and Permani Bros and a little bit of membership too.
A little bit of
that. So thank you to everybody for listening, and we'll see you next time on Members Only, the EverWash podcast.